former and current Ekapa mining workers are moving to appoint their own liquidator to help protect their interests as the last remaining diamond miner in Kimberley prepares to shut down. The financially distressed miner applied for liquidation just 5 days just days after miners got trapped 890 meters underground. That was in Tunnel 6 of its joint shaft operation. The Northern Cape Chamber of Commerce and Industry says Kimberley is a ticking time bomb that needs economic intervention immediately. The organisation has started a fund to not only support the proto-rescue workers with supplies including food and water, but also more than 1,200 workers who will soon lose their jobs. Well, let's continue tracking the story and bring in Newzroom Afrika's Ntokozo Khumalo. Ntokozo, you're in Kimberley for us this morning. This is an incredibly uncertain time for workers.
Absolutely, and made even a little bit more uncertain this morning is the fact that as we arrived, the Premier was driving out for a meeting. He said he will return to address the workers, but as we understand it, he's saying that he just wants a few representatives that he will speak to. But as you see behind us, there is a caucus there saying that that should not be accepted because the time for boardroom talks is over and all these workers need to be addressed. But I have a non-union citizen here, Aubrey, to just talk us through the work that they've been doing here. Aubrey, we met yesterday, last afternoon. You were signing those petitions to appoint your own liquidator to protect the workers' interests. And I understand tomorrow going to the High Court. Talk us through what happened this morning. We saw the Premier drive off to his office. What is he saying to the workers?
No, what he said that he didn't get the memorandum that we've lost on Friday here because he was on leave on Friday. He only arrived in Kimberley yesterday, last night at 10 o'clock. Yeah. No, he came to the office this morning just to come and take this, I think it's a laptop here, a laptop, because he's going to attend another meeting at the Meters Perepere. So he was not aware of this issue, but he will respond to our issues. After that meeting, he's going to have a meeting with his team so that he must give a feedback of what happened on Friday and then discuss those issues. And then he promised that he will come back to us before the close of business today. It's
rather strange to get that response that he's not aware of this issue that has been going on for quite some time, and there's been issues around the feasibility of Ekapa's operation for quite some time, because some of the workers here are workers that were retrenched in 2020, last year. So how do you receive the Premier then saying he was not aware of this issue and needs time to prepare to respond and give you an update?
Actually, he specifically talking to the issue of the salary that you were talking about, of the 25. We should get our salary on the 25. So he was not aware of that we didn't get paid. So he was referring to that issue, not the whole issue of the mine, but he was referring to specifically on that issue to say, no, he's not aware because he was on leave on Friday. He was having some family commitments, so he needed to attend those issues. But he promised that he will make sure that he will speak to Mr. Janhoni, which is the CEO of Ekapa, to make sure that we get our salary, because the reason why we must get our salary, because he even issued the pay slips that tells you that you are going to be paid. What suddenly now we don't get the salary?
But now under a liquidation, the company loses that financial control. What are you hoping to then hear once the Premier actually engages with you in terms of receiving those salaries, when tomorrow we're in the High Court because of this issue to appoint a liquidator?
In that case, I don't know what to say honestly, but as we say, like I said yesterday, the only hope that we have is from the Premier, that I think there are other avenues that he can try to assist to rescue us from this issue. Like when you are listening to the issue that was raised by the people, some people are renting in Kimberley, so those issues they need to be taken into consideration. Some people need to pay for the school fees, the school transport of the kids, and so on. So we hope that he will try to see to assist us on this particular issue.
Well, Aubrey, thank you so much for talking to us. We'll catch up again a little bit later. So, Michelle, as you heard here, it is now a matter of waiting for the Premier to conclude the said meeting to be able to then address the workers here. As Aubrey just clarified, and it is details that we did get yesterday, that a lot of the workers here received their payslip on Friday, but no pay yet. And remember, I mentioned that I'd spoken to a business rescue practitioner, Michelle, who said that it is rather strange that the company went for business liquidation first, a decision that was made last week, Wednesday, to voluntarily apply for liquidation, when there was the option of going for business rescue, where at least the practitioner could make sure that issues such as salaries continue to be paid, provisions, finances to make provisions for the rescue team is available. So a lot of questions, I suppose, that these workers are then waiting to hear after the Premier has had that conversation with the Ekapa Mining CEO. We'll give those updates hopefully a little bit later on. I've reached out to the Premier's office, but I myself have not heard back on whether they will allow us into then that meeting for the update for the workers, Michelle.
Ntokozo, I mean, is there still a chance now, it's still at the early stages of applying for this liquidation process, where the mining company can walk back that decision?
Well, it's moving to the High Court, Michelle, which means that that application has gone through with the CIPC. So if it's gone through there, they do get a cooling off period after the High Court. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's about 60 days that they do get that cooling off period to see if they can attract any investments, if there's any of the operations that can continue. But if you consider the state of finances of Ekapa Mine, allegedly hundreds of millions in debt, and also, Michelle, with what we're seeing happening in the Middle East. Remember, tomorrow, from the 3rd to the 5th of March, 5 precious diamonds that were found in that joint shaft in January we're meant to go on auction in Dubai. So we are also waiting to hear feedback from the company on what the tension there now means for that auction that is meant to kick off tomorrow. But we also need to hear from them and the DMRE of where the funds from that auction of those 5 diamonds would then go. Would some of that be used to just pay off the debt, the creditors, or would it be used to pay the workers the salaries that they are owed? So hopefully when we chat the next time, Michelle, we've heard some responses and able to give details around those issues. But I do know that once it reaches the High Court, it is rather a difficult task to reverse that while there may be a cooling off period, Michelle.
And in the meantime, those 5 workers who were trapped underground in Tunnel 6 of that joint shaft operation, those 5 workers and their families, still no closure on that issue.
No, absolutely not, Michelle. The update that we got on that rescue mission from Ekapa Mine is that they've managed to pump just over 3,500 cubic meters. And the last time that we checked in, it was around 2,500 cubic meters. So as they said, progress seemingly slow but steady. Those were the mining company's words. They've offloaded about 20 trucks or 20 loads of rock. So remember, the main issue that has complicated the rescue mission from the time that it happened on Tuesday, about 14 days ago, is that they continued to be that mix of muddy water and the rock boulders that were falling. So as they were making progress, it would relieve that pressure and more mudslide would happen. So we got a report earlier that also happened again last night, but luckily the Proto rescue team were able to then get out. So it's now a question of safety, even for those who are trying to continue with the rescue mission. And remember, Minister Gwede Mantashe already from the first visit at the mine 2 weeks ago, saying that as a former miner, the family should just presume that those 5 miners are dead and that the mission now is a retrieval of bodies. We did see some maps from the mine, and one of the miners was a little little bit closer to the entrance and separated from the other 4 miners. And while then expectations was that they may be able to get to that body by Saturday, that did not happen because of that muddy water and rocks that continue to make then the mission difficult. Michelle.
Stating for the families involved. Ntokozo Khumalo is live to us there in Kimberley.